Should you buy a Valve Index in 2024? For me, the short answer is no. If I was going to recommend someone a headset to use in 2024, if they were just getting into VR, I would personally recommend the Quest 3S for its cheaper price, higher resolution, and standalone capabilities, so you don't even need a PC to use the headset. But if you want the long answer, for me personally, things change a little. So with that being said, this is my review of the Valve Index in 2024. Now, a few of you guys in the comments are probably writing, well, why would you buy a Valve Index in 2024? It's an older headset, and the Quest 3 is just arguably better for half the cost. And well, they would be right. I would 100% not buy an Index at full price right now. I personally bought mine on Facebook Marketplace, due to the rise of cheaper and higher spec hardware coming out, and with the Index being almost 6 years old, there are some areas that the Index does not do too well in, such as resolution, but I kinda see this as a benefit. Okay, this is hot take time. Before I bought the Index, I was using a Quest 3 through a Link cable. I was only able to use the headset at the lowest usable resolution that the Link app allowed me to. The only reason that I was using it at the lowest setting possible was simply because my PC could not keep up. The fact that the meta software for Link hasn't really changed that much since roughly 2021, and the only updates being either rebranding stuff to the meta logo or removing support for features such as Oculus Home, made the headset a bit of a pain. Most of the VR games that I personally played were through Steam VR, and having that extra layer of the meta software to send data back to Steam VR did take up a lot of resources that could be spent running the game or running my streaming software. So because of this, I ended up buying an Index, and I can confidently say that it is running a lot better on almost every game that I own through Steam VR due to the lower resolution of the headset, not having to run an extra program to use the headset, and the higher refresh rate of the headset. Going from 72Hz to 144Hz in Beat Saber actually felt really weird, as it is almost double the frame rate inside the headset, and now I cannot stop playing Beat Saber. But I am personally not the best at Beat Saber right now due to the You can't really talk about the Index without talking about the controllers. The Knuckles that Valve made are some of the best VR controllers that I've ever used on a headset. The finger tracking adds a whole level of immersion that I personally have never really seen or felt before on a headset. And the button layout feels great, and I got used to the layout of the controller fairly quickly. Gripping things did take some time to get used to. For most VR controllers, you grip things by using a button on the side of the controller, while still holding onto the controller. With the Index, you physically grab the controller to grab stuff in the game, and you have to let go of your controller, but don't worry, the controller has a strap that goes along the back of your hand, so when you do let go of the controller, it will stay attached to your hand so you don't drop your controller and break it when you let go. This design does take some getting used to, but I personally like it more than some other controllers like the Quest 2 controllers. I'm a huge fan of the Quest 3 controllers, to be honest. These controllers are a bit on the heavier side, and although way too many people complain about the weight, it honestly isn't that big of a deal in my experience. Now, these controllers are great, but what about the... For me personally, this headset is amazing. Although it is a bit heavier compared to some of the other headsets on the market, coming in at a whopping 1.78 pounds, the weight of the headset does balance out very well thanks to the head strap design being one of my personal favorites that is on a stock headset. The headset does have some good adjustment settings that make it easy to put the headset on and off, which is primarily thanks to the head strap having a nice design to it that makes it easy for anyone to be able to comfortably use the headset. The headset also has a resolution of dual 1440 by 1600 LCD screens with a refresh rate that can go up to 144Hz. The resolution is outdated, with most headsets such as the Quest 3 being at around 2064 by 2208, but I honestly didn't really notice the resolution difference. I think that a higher refresh rate is a lot more important than trying to cram more pixels into a display, and going from 72Hz on the Quest 3 over a Link cable to 144Hz on the Valve Index is a huge difference that is definitely noticeable when you first put on the headset. Now before you go into the comments and write, but Legacy, the Quest 3 can run up to 120Hz, you can, but if you do, you will probably have to lower your resolution and game quality settings to get it running smoothly. I personally still love the Quest 3 as a headset, but from what I'm doing with content creation, I just like the Valve Index a lot more. Now, visuals are definitely very important for a good VR experience, but what about the... The audio is probably one of the strongest parts of the Valve Index. With two speakers that hover over your ears, the audio is probably one of the best I've ever had on a headset. I've used the Quest 1, 2, and 3, and although these speakers sound really good on these headsets, the Index just takes it up a notch using actual speakers outside of the headset instead of using integrated speakers inside of the headset itself. The microphone also sounds amazing on this headset, so here's a demonstration of the microphone on the Valve Index. This is what the microphone on the Valve Index sounds like. Yeah, I'm recording this entire video on the Valve Index, okay? Don't judge me. Personally, for me, the Index gets a 10 out of 10 in the audio department, and most of this video has been pretty positive in the Valve Index's favor, so let's dive into the... Okay, so the Valve Index does have a few problems with it. The Index has been out since 2019, and with so many headsets being created in the past 5 years, there are a lot of features that become the standard that the Index just straight up doesn't have. Eye tracking, foveated rendering, mixed reality, inside-out tracking. The Index is just missing a lot, and although this headset did age really well, the VR industry is just evolving and the Index is starting to become left behind. Not everyone has the space to set up base stations, which are needed to be able to use the headset in the first place because they are the things that track the headset, which is kind of important for a room scale VR experience. With all this in mind, I think it is time for the... Overall, I don't personally think this is the headset you should be buying in 2024. With the Index being almost $1,000 USD with barely any price changes since it was released, you could buy 2 Quest 3 headsets for almost the same price as the Index, which makes it not worth it for the average person. I personally got an Index because I needed something that could run at a high frame rate, run directly to Steam VR so I could stream, and have a decent audio setup for live streams, and I was lucky to find one on Facebook Marketplace of all places. I do think that the Index could still be worth it for some people, but with all the new headsets coming out at much cheaper price points, it is really hard to recommend this headset to someone who is new or already inside the VR market. The Index was a monumental piece of hardware that still holds up today, but because of all the new headsets that have been released, I find it hard to recommend this headset in 2024. So that is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed the headset review, then leave a comment down below, and I might even try making one for the Quest 2 and Quest 3. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.